Hey, Disney Cruisers, and welcome back to the DCL community where we are here to help you plan, prepare for, and get excited for your Disney cruise. You guys know me. I'm Rebecca, your host and admin of the DCL community. And today we are so excited to be doing a deep dive on all things cruising with your adult children. You know, people think Disney and they might think of the little ones running around, but there's a lot to do for the big kids too. So as you're coming in, please say hello. Let us know where you're watching from and if you have adult kids. And as people are coming in, Laura, do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. Hi, everyone. I'm Laura Greco, and I'm with Fairy Tale Journeys Travel. And I'm here to talk about those 18 to 21-year-olds, those who have aged out of those teen clubs, and you're wondering, are my kids too old to go on a Disney cruise? I see that question a lot. I have my clients ask me that a lot. So let's get these questions answered because you are never too old to go on a Disney cruise.
Oh, great. And you're a mom of three, right? And your kids,
I
they're not the
am.
littlest anymore.
No, they are not. And they started cruising when they were little. And, I'll tell you, they always were like in those clubs and they loved every minute of it. And of course, there was that sadness the last year they were in the vibe and what were
Yes.
we going to do? However, there was also always that secrecy of what's behind that wall in Quiet Cove? What are all these 18 plus places we're not allowed to go? And why can't we hang out with mom and dad? Because this mom wasn't going to that middle of the ship, not
Yeah.
when they were in the teen clubs. Sorry. That's a big no. So that was an interesting transition, and we'll talk about all of that. But
Yeah.
they were never as excited as they were when they finally got to walk behind that 18 plus wall on the Disney
Right?
Fantasy for the first time, and not just walk through to come get me for something, but to actually sit with mom and dad and be an adult on a Disney
Yes.
cruise.
Oh
So
my gosh. Your kids and me sound very similar because I remember being so sad when I couldn't go into Vibe anymore. And then you get behind the curtain and you're like, ah, it's like the Little Mermaid music starts singing. So if as we're going through, if you guys have any questions about cruising with kids of any age, Laura has cruised with her kids, her friends, family, grandkids, or everybody. So if you guys have any questions or want to start planning your Disney cruise, that's the link to Laura's page on the DCL community website. And I'll get this in the comments as well. But she is here to help you plan your Disney cruise for zero extra dollars. Her planning services are totally free. So let her be that resource in your planning. But let's go ahead and dive in. What actually qualifies as an adult on a Disney cruise?
So, an adult on a Disney cruise is any person 18 and older. That is when you can't really go into that vibe anymore. The hard cutoff is 17. No more, no more teen club, no more of that, fun and games and running around the ship with your spoons. And
Yeah. Oh,
I
I
think
forgot
you know
about
what I'm talking about, and making movies and all those things that my boys really looked forward to doing. All that ends. So the day your child turns 18, college years,
that.
they are now Disney adults, and that does grant them access to Quiet Cove, Palo, Enchante, the spa, um, the clubs. They're not going to get kicked out at 9 p.m. Now, that doesn't mean they can drink,
That was going to be my next
and
question for you.
I'm gonna go over all that. That doesn't give them access to alcohol. It means they can hang out with you. They can go see the adult shows and take part in all of that. But even though we're at sea, and I know there's always a lot of confusion, the drinking age on board a Disney cruise is 21. It does follow the US. Now, I believe in Europe there could be some exceptions to that, but here in the US, it's 21. Um, so that said, they have access to everything that you do. So I've always seen moms and dads, they want to take their 13-year-old or 14-year-old to Palo, and there's always that disappointment that that's a hard no.
Yeah.
When they're 18, you get to take them with you. And I'll never forget the first time my boys got to go to Palo. They were like, "Oh, what is this?"
It's so nice.
Um, the first time they get to do this, there's no boredom. And they do have the 1820 Society. And what that is, it's not like a teen club per se. It's if there's 18 and 20-year-olds, 18 through 20-year-olds, so 18, 19, 20, before they can drink, they have a society. There's a space for them on the ship. They meet more at night, so it's not like daytime fun. They meet up at night and they're taken to the bars as a group. They socialize together. They're the ones that can't drink, but they meet friends, people to hang out with, so they're not bored or stuck with mom and dad. It gives them socialization. So there is a group for them to meet. Now, I've heard that not every sailing, there's a lot of people. I've heard it could be hit and miss, but that is also up to your young adult
Yeah.
to want to participate. It's in the navigator. It'll tell you when it meets. It's not hidden. It says 18, it has its own section, 1820 Society, and it is there.
Yes, I was gonna say I was actually on the first cruise when they invented the 1820 Society, and right, my little heart was so broken because I didn't get to go into Vibe that time. And it is exactly what you make it, right? If you have a kid that is social and wants to be involved and wants to hang out, my biggest piece of advice is tell them to go that first night. Even if they're shy, even if they're not quite sure, there's always one crew member that's assigned to them for the length of the cruise. So they really get to know
Mhm.
them. It's typically a member of the cruise staff. And I have made some amazing friends over the years in the 1820 Society. And fun fact, because of a connection in there, I actually met my better half of going on 9 years now. So,
Which
and I know other couples that have come out of there. So, I'm not saying Disney's the new Love Boat or anything, but it's such a great chance to
it
meet
could
people and have that
happen.
socialization. Yes, and I will say, hanging out with mom and dad, not as bad as you might think it is. It's kinda cool, except for match your mate. If they're playing match your mate, you might wanna leave.
Although it could also be amusing for them.
That's
I
true.
don't know. It depends on the questions being asked, but
Yes.
there
Oh,
are things that happen on the ship that your 18 to 20-year-old have never seen as a child sailing or have never taken part in and never have been allowed to. So they won't be bored, not at all. It's a cruise. So they get to do all sorts of new things and they get to meet adult type friends. And I saw a post on the page that exploded because they pulled out the family hot tubs years ago on the Disney Fantasy and turned them into splash pads, and the only hot tubs on the Disney Fantasy are in Quiet Cove now. And this happened years ago. I don't know if you saw that post,
I
Rebecca,
did,
but it had
yeah.
me kind of cracking up because the post exploded. And all I could think was those 18 to 20-year-olds are really
They're
gonna love
enjoying
it
it. Yeah, and there's
because they'll have hot tubs to go to. Um,
yes. Oh my gosh, yes, it's the little things, and I think there is that mystery and that you know, it's really fun to get to run around the ships and do all that, but you can still do that as an 18 and 20. I mean, we spent time playing all sorts of games. We were up on the sports deck, we were getting food together. You're bonding, it's just in a different way. There's not as many organized activities. There's still plenty to do. Now, we did get the question, do your adult kids still want to meet the characters? Do they want to take pictures on board?
this adult does.
I was gonna say, I
M
love it. I love seeing the characters.
My boys still have their favorites. I mean, if Stitch runs around, my youngest, now 25, goes flying in line for Stitch, and if Mickey's anywhere to be found, Joseph goes a-flying. Um,
I love it. But it's the same with any cruiser. It is what you make it. If you wanna see characters all day, you can see characters all day. If you don't wanna have anything to do with anything kid
then they
related,
don't have to. Then
yes,
you don't
you can
have to. There's no nobody's gonna force an 18, 19, 20-year-old any more than you would your 15, 16-year-old to go meet a character. That's totally up to your 18 to 20-year-old,
Yeah.
whether they're gonna go stand in line for a character.
And we
I
also, oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, we also got the question asking about how do they know that they're over 18? And I feel like we see this one a lot when people, they have a mature 17-year-old who's quiet and they're not going to cause a big fuss. And I get it. I get that your 17-year-old wants to hang out with you, your 16-year-old, but how do they actually know that you're 18?
Their key to the world card says it.
Yes. I was going to say,
There's codes. There's codes on those cards. So a crew member is going to check if there's any sign. And believe you me, and also, especially if you're asking this question because you think you're going to get your 17-year-old, who I'm sure is very mature, up into Palo, you can't even make the reservation for them.
yeah.
You just can't. They know in the system that your child isn't 18 or young adult, not child. However, if they're in Quiet Cove, it
Mhm.
will say there's an M, yours has an A, and an 18-year-old, a 19-year-old is a
A B
B,
for between.
between. And if they have any suspicion that this person doesn't belong in Quiet Cove, whether it be somebody saw their key card, or if there's an adult in there who knows that your child doesn't belong and they alert somebody, and believe me, it happens because people want to follow the rules, they will escort that person out
Yeah.
nicely. But those areas are reserved for 18 and older, not 17-year-olds who are well behaved.
It's so true. I know that you want to hang out with your kid and have a quiet place, but there are plenty of spots that are quiet, that are in the shade or in the sun around the ship that you guys can still hang out together. I know that Quiet Cove is enticing. Trust me, Laura and I would live there full time if they would let us, and we
But
could
there's
afford to.
nothing more annoying than if Quiet Cove were to fill with a bunch of people who are good, well-behaved 17-year-olds. They tend not to stay well-behaved when a group of them go in, and they are very noticeable. You can
Yeah.
spot them a mile away. They're the ones giggling really loudly and obnoxiously 9 times 10 in the hot tub.
Yeah.
Busted.
Yeah. Yeah, let them enjoy their time, right? You're never gonna be 17 or 16 on board a Disney cruise again. Enjoy that time. And on the Dream and the Fantasy, they've got an outdoor space for teens as
Or
part of the
them
teen
with their
club.
own hot tubs on their own
Yeah.
pool deck.
Yes, it's so nice.
So
I'm telling you right now, and I know one of my good friends who I actually met on board a Disney cruise, and we're still friends today, is watching. But we would give anything to be able to go back to the teen club now. It's just to
the
be a kid on a
outdoor
Disney
ping
cruise.
pong tables down there and those pools. I was always jealous of my kids. I'm like, you get all this?
Yes.
Nice.
I swear Disney cruises were like secretly made for teenagers. But speaking of some of those big kids, we did get I meant to ask the question or answer the
Sure.
question. What was it? Oh, what if my kid is turning 18 on the cruise? What happens then?
Whew. Okay. So they're going to start off where they have to be in the vibe. And then once they're 18, you can always go to guest services and tell them, hey, we're 18. And then they can rekey them and they can go into Quiet Cove. You're going to want them to get a new key though, because their key will still have an M on it. So just go to guest services.
Yes, yes. Good question. And if you are celebrating a birthday on board a Disney cruise, my birthday is in September, and I gladly accept those as birthday presents. Just throwing that one out there for everybody. And then what about this question? So, can my adult
Sure.
kids pay for their own things on board? So, maybe you're paying for the cruise for them to come with, but can they pay for their own drinks, souvenirs, excursions?
1,000,000%. You can, when you do your online check-in, you can assign their credit card to them when you're doing online check-in. Or you can even do that when you get on board. Just go to guest services and have them go and say, I'll be paying for my things, and they put their credit card onto their key to the world so that whenever they go and make a purchase, it's going to be charged to their own form of payment. Whether they're going to put gift cards on their account, but they will go ahead and separate their charges onto whatever form of payment.
Yes, and they can get an itemized bill at the end of the cruise, or even as the cruise is going on, it's right there in the app, so you can see what all the
Mhm.
charges are going to the room.
You can even see
And
it on your TV if you want.
oh yeah,
Ugh.
I don't want that.
Uh,
I don't want to know how
me
much
neither.
money I've spent.
I think that's
And
the worst thing to do in your stateroom is to look at your folio on your television. But if your,
just got a little
young
nauseous
adult
when you said
needs to
that.
look to
Yeah.
see how much they've spent, they can do it there.
Yes, I get it. We're all on budgets, but that is the worst thing on TV.
Ugh.
And speaking of those staterooms, I know I see this question a good amount. Are the bunk bags actually big enough for children? Or am I going to need to get multiple staterooms? So how do you handle that with adult kids of your own? Yes, but even when you're booking for your clients who have multiple family members.
So, of course, the best way you're going to save money on a cruise is to put as many people in a stateroom as you can. Um, because the first and second guest, no matter how old they are, it could be guest one is an adult and guest two is an infant. The first two guests are going to pay the same amount, double occupancy. And then the third and fourth guest always pay less. So if you were going to say, oh, you think you're saving money by getting two staterooms, guests one and two are paying the bulk of the price. Guests three and four get a little bit less. So put four in a room over two staterooms. You'll save money. Um, although, if you're thinking of mom and dad in a veranda and across the hall, your 18 and 19-year-old in an inside room, we could always check pricing on that to see if that saves you money. But of course, we have to check numbers and the time of year that you're sailing to do that.
Yeah.
So it's really a check pricing, time of year, but usually putting more in a room is ultimately the best choice. Are the bunk beds big enough for adult children? Yes, we've put five travel agents in a room. So
I love
you
it.
can do it.
Yes.
Um, there is a
I was
weight
gonna
limit to the upper bunk,
Yeah.
but I will Google that weight limit for you. I want to say it's like 250 pounds. I'm going to Google that though, give or
Yes.
take. And if that's the case, I would put that person on the bottom bunk, which is the couch. But my adult children, if they sail with me today, they're in the bunk beds.
Yes.
Not the weight
I was gonna say, my family's pretty tall, and even, we've got 5'10" and a half, 5'11", 6'1", and they're comfortably in the bunk beds. So, and the beds on board the Disney cruises are great, and the ship just rocks you right to sleep. So I wouldn't worry about the bunk bed situation. And I'm so glad you mentioned that about the room configuration, because as much as we love Disney Cruise Line, when you're kind of mixing and matching and comparing room options, there's not a good way to piece all those things together without going back in separately. So
Correct.
if you're trying to figure out the best room configuration for your family, it might be a one bedroom suite that has a pull down couch versus two veranda rooms, or maybe it's a deluxe option that has room for five in it. So I would say reach out to Laura and price out those different options so you're not having to click around and have 18 different tabs open. Been there, not fun. Um, and
Not
I was
fun.
good.
And you're also pulling staterooms out of inventory. And where that bites you in the butt is you forget to remove them. And then you call your travel agent and she can't see the stateroom that you want because you took it out of inventory, closed the window, and it takes about 30 minutes for it to reappear. So, yeah,
Oh,
make
I
sure
didn't
you
know
remove it. Yeah,
that.
once you pull it, you have to remove it when you're checking all those staterooms.
I
Please.
always learn something new from you every time, every time. And speaking of multiple rooms, so if you do end up putting kids together, or maybe it's kids with grandma and grandpa or whatever it is, how do you connect your reservations so that you can dine together or, book Palo together? And what about that photo package?
Okay, so connecting rooms to dine together is really simple. We just link the reservations together on the back end. And that doesn't mean that when I say link them, they have to be linked not when you go into your app and claim the reservations and you can see them all. That means we link them actually through Disney Cruise Line. Um, Together. It's an extra step. Your travel agent can do it. DCL can do it for you. If you don't have a travel agent, you just say, I need these staterooms linked together for dining. And that means that they'll sit you at the same table, give you the same dining rotation. You could link as many staterooms as you want together. Now, keep this in mind. If you have more than 4 staterooms linked together, when it comes to your booking activities, so let's say you have your 5th stateroom linked together. Now, this happens all the time. When your booking window opens, you'll get a notification and it will say you have too many staterooms linked and you'll only be able to book activities for your room. You won't see
Ooh,
everybody else's at that point. Um, so
interesting.
if you're going to link more than 4 staterooms together, I suggest you do that after you've booked activities.
Got it.
Um,
Okay, good to know. And is that something that you can help coordinate as
yes.
someone's travel
Yes.
agent? Okay, so you can go in and book things for everybody and
Yeah.
connect. I'm doing a lot of
Yeah.
hand movements right
Oh,
now,
yeah,
but
I do it too. I'm like, it's a lot of moving pieces. But once you link together for dining, and it's very rare that we have more than, I mean, if I've booked a wedding, then obviously we probably have more than 4 staterooms linked together. So I don't do the linking until the end to make everything much easier for everybody. Um, but that's how we dine together. That's a really easy step. They just get linked. Disney sees the link, all 4 staterooms, however many you get sat at the same table, or at least tables close by if it's a really big group. Same rotation, nothing to worry about. That photo package, though,
mhm,
it is per room, unless mom and dad are in this stateroom. I mean, mom and daughter and dad and son are in 2 different staterooms, your immediate family, then it can be shared. Um, However, if it's a big group, wait till you get on the ship. Somebody put the photo package in so you get the discount for booking early, but then
good
go
point.
into Shutters after you board and say, "Hey, we're a gigantic group." And they will usually work with you to discount everybody else's photo package so that not everybody is going to have to pay that
The whole kit and
huge amount
caboodle.
of money for those downloads. Um, but it is by stateroom. It's not like, Disney World where you can share your memory maker with your friends and family. This is a totally different beast.
Good
Um,
to know. So you say
so
Disney
just
World related terms, and I just hear like Charlie Brown teacher things. I'm like, I know that
wah, wah,
memory
wah,
make.
wah, wah.
Mhm. So okay, good to know. I learned something else new today. Memory maker has to do with photos. Look at us go. But yes, I love that you made the point too about that photo package because a lot of people don't realize if you book it ahead of time, you do get that discount in the app. So make sure you
Always
get.
add it to your package.
Yes.
One person, even if you all added it and you went to Shutters, they will work with you because a year ago when I did that big multi-general cruise where my son got engaged on the Fantasy, we all added it and when we got on the ship, they did their little magic realizing we were all together and they discounted and my son was in a different room than me and but they they worked it out. So just go talk to them nicely and they'll help you.
Yes, kindness is key. And if you're thinking about a big family reunion or something on board, Laura did travel with the kids and the grandkids and spouse and friends and everybody.
And
I think you had like,
parents and
yes, it was like
big
8 or 9 staterooms. So if you're thinking about big family trips, having somebody to help coordinate all of that so it's not all falling on your shoulders, highly recommend.
Okay, I
But
have my 30-year-old daughter and myself have been on 2 cruises. We currently saving for a third. My only thing is could be different is okay, to split the beds. I hear this a lot. In the beginning, The
Yeah.
beds used to split. The feedback was they were very uncomfortable
Yes.
because there was a split.
Yep.
So Disney made them queen beds so they would be comfortable. And on the newer ships, the concierge has king beds, so they were comfortable. They did that because the splitting of the beds when they're pushed together, they're not comfortable. So
Yeah.
that's why they can't be split. And they'll never be split again because the complaints with the split bed being pushed together, just very uncomfortable. Imagine being there, you just can't make a split bed comfortable.
I was gonna say, I'm just picturing like I Love Lucy bed situation where they each have
I
their
mean,
own.
other cruise lines do it. I'm not
Yeah.
mentioning names, but when they get old and they keep
Yeah.
eventually
Yes.
you're
I
going to
was
have a
gonna
divot, and I don't
Disney
want to
Cruise.
be the guest on the divot.
That yes, that would be bad. But Disney Cruise Line is really good about listening to feedback. So if that's something that they were getting time and time again, there's a reason. But speaking of other cruise lines, we did get the question of are there better cruise lines for sailing with your adult children? I know we obviously love Disney Cruise Line for adult kids, but what do you think?
I will tell you that if you really want to cruise on a cruise line meant for adults, 18 and older, Virgin Voyages. There
Oh
are no
yes,
kids.
that's
I'm a big
right.
proponent for Virgin Voyages for those who want to sail with only adults. Talk about amazing. And you know my love for DCL and only DCL.
I was gonna
I've
say this
sailed
is
all
high
cruise
praises.
lines.
I'm glad I'm sitting down.
Sit down, folks, because and believe I've sailed all cruise lines, and I'll always come back to Disney. And I will tell you, Virgin Voyages will be my other because it's all
Ooh,
adults. They took their cues from Disney Cruise Line. Their guest services are very similar. It's a bougie yacht, um, and it's all adults. There are no children allowed. So if you to me, the better cruise line for adult children, if you are looking for an all adult experience, would be Virgin Voyages.
I was gonna say I don't know a ton about Virgin. I've never sailed it, but it's definitely something I keep seeing ads for them everywhere on TV, on my phone. So it's definitely something I'm interested in, but I might
And
be
that
the
takes
only
it's hard for me to say out loud,
I
especially when I'm sitting
know.
here talking about my love, and my first love, obviously, is Disney Cruise
Yes.
Line. And I
Yeah.
can't tell you enough how I will always love Disney Cruise Line. Um, I'll always sail it first, but
Virgin's
Virgin is my other.
oh, those are high praises. Okay, if you are interested in adult only travel, you need to get in front of Laura. You need to get time on her calendar to talk through that because you guys know Laura's all about Disney Cruise Line. I am in shock.
Happy to talk
And
about that one day, but
yes, yes. And we got the question: is the couch bed as long and as wide as a twin bed?
yes,
Yeah, awesome.
it's actually I want to say I think it's an XL,
Yeah,
like
I
a
was gonna
longer
say
twin.
because that
It's a longer twin because my son it's a longer twin,
yeah.
but it's as wide. It's a twin. Yes, it is a twin.
Yes. You can sleep very comfortably there. I have many a times, many a times. And what about just looking at overall activities on board for adult children? Are they even going to have fun on a Disney cruise? What can they have to look forward to?
Oh, they're going to look forward to all the things they couldn't do as a kid. They're going to go do the adult activities. Um, for instance, the comedian or ventriloquist or hypnotist that they show for the family show, he does a more adult version that they've never seen before in the
Right.
adult club at night. More funny. Is that a
Yeah.
word? More funny? Even
Yeah.
funnier. And so there's adult entertainment that happens, um, more on their level that they will laugh at. You get my point.
Yeah. Yep.
Adult version comedy.
Yes. Yep.
Um, they'll go clubbing. Just because they can't drink doesn't mean they can't go to a dance party.
Love a
Um,
dance floor. Put me on a
rock the
dance floor.
DJ. Rock the
Yes.
DJ, you know, the adults dance too. You might not know that, but we do. We get down.
Yeah.
They have all of that. Now, while they can't go and do the tastings per se, you know, they can't drink the alcohol at the tastings. They can go sit in there with mom and dad and learn about the alcohols. They're not going to be kicked out of those. They would have been if they were kids, but they can go sit next to mom and dad and learn everything there is to know about beers or martinis. They're classes.
Yeah.
They can go do that. Um, they can do just about anything an adult does. They can chill. They can go on the spa. They can use the rainforest spa. They can any activity they want. Bingo, adult bingo, you know, the big jackpot bingos. Like anything in the navigator. There's just so many things. I can't even like think and list
I
them all
know.
because I do them and I never think about them. And
Right.
now I'm like, what else do we do as
I was
adults?
gonna say you've got adult only karaoke, adult only trivia, adult only, like
Oh
every
my
type
gosh,
of
all the
class that
trivias. That's right.
yes. And
The adult
it's so much fun. Your kids will have a good time if they want to have a good time. And I feel like every kid is different. You know your kid best, right? I'd say that
Mhm.
disclaimer. But if your kid wants to sit by the pool and read all day, and that's their definition of fun, they can do that. That's all right. If they want to go and watch movies all day, every day, whether on deck or in theaters, they can do that
We
too.
do that too.
Yes, they are not limited really at any age on board to the type of fun you want to have. But with this, it just opens up so many more
But
spaces
they're
on board.
freer. They're freer
Yes,
because they're not being treated like kids with times they have to be here and here. They're being treated like an adult. So if they want to sleep in and have breakfast delivered to the room and then go sit on deck and swim for a little while and then go see a movie and catch an adult only learn to draw and go to a trivia. They're not by the kids club clock anymore. It's
yes,
they can do what they want. They're adulting. Go to the cove, grab a cup of coffee. They can do whatever they want. They're adults.
yes. Oh my gosh. I want to get breakfast delivered to me in the morning. I'm like, do you think I can convince my better half to do that? To just bring me breakfast in bed, except on a cruise ship tomorrow.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't know how we invent teleportation, but I think we should get on that.
Okay, I'm in.
Yeah, we'll add it to the list. We'll add it to the list.
I'm writing it down.
Oh, well, this was so fun. If you have any doubts about cruising with adult kids, I hope that we have helped alleviate some of those worries because as you can tell, adults have a great time on board, but Laura's a mom of three and all of her adult children are still right. They're still go with you on a Disney cruise. They still love it.
Yeah, I have one who's going on the Treasure Maiden voyage.
See, it's a very expensive habit to get your kids hooked on, but it's a very nice habit. Speaking from
Mom
experience.
is really nice.
Yes, I was
Bringing
gonna
my
say.
adult child on the maiden voyage.
Oh,
Like,
well,
I
I can
can't say no.
yeah. It's the best, and having that type of dedicated time together, kids grow up so fast. They're going off to school, they're getting jobs, they're moving away, they're having kids of their own, and to have this kind of dedicated time
Mhm.
together where you're not on Wi-Fi, you're not on your phones the whole time, you can just be together and relax. It's so valuable. So take advantage of this time, book the trip as a family,
And just
and
enjoy
yes,
you
yes.
finally get to hang out with them on the ship.
Yes, and it's not eye roll central of, "Oh, I have to hang out with mom and dad." It's, "I get to be here with mom and dad."
Mhm.
Oh my
And
gosh.
I'll tell you, they were the best cruises I ever had because those memories are just of us hanging out. Like,
Yes.
I hung out with my kids and they spent a week with me, and that in itself was amazing.
Priceless. Yes. Well, if you want to plan an amazing vacation for your family, whether your kids are 30 or 3 or anywhere in between or over and beyond, reach out to Laura. That's the link up on screen, and I will get this in the comments for everybody again as well. But if you are ready to plan that, whether it's a Disney cruise vacation, maybe Virgin, maybe reach out to Laura. She is here to help be that resource in all your planning. And again, her planning services are 100% free for you to use. So take advantage and get started planning. You know, summer's just around the corner and Disney still has plenty of itineraries open.
And you
So,
know what happens in 32 days? 2
no,
days?
no,
Yes,
no.
you do. 32 days, I'm on the inaugural sailing to
Ooh,
Lighthouse Point.
gosh, this is so exciting. Okay, so now if you are not following Laura on
32
all of her
days.
social media, make sure you are so you can see all of that content from the new. For those who don't know, do you want to explain what Lighthouse Point is?
Yes, if you haven't been paying attention in the
Yes,
rock because they
everywhere.
all over the place, the maps and everything. Um, it's got a new name, so hold on. Lookout Key at Lighthouse Point
Yeah,
is Disney's new private island, and, there is gonna be a preview cruise on the Magic. It's just a 3-night, they have to test it first, so,
yeah.
there's always a test cruise, so people on the Magic will go on a quick little run there to make sure everything is ready for us, and we're on the inaugural on the Fantasy June 8th, and we will be going there twice, Castaway once, and Nassau once on the Fantasy. They're doing a very odd thing on the Fantasy, not going to the Eastern or Western Caribbean, we're staying in the
Yeah.
Bahamas, but 7 nights consisting of 2 stops at the new island, so
I am so excited to
I'm
see it.
so
I
excited.
cannot wait. I'm
I'm
going to be
so
living
excited.
through you.
I could not score a cabana on any of the days. On Pearl, could not score a cabana.
Yeah. So
On any
further proof, yes, you don't. Just because you are a concierge, just because you're Pearl doesn't mean that you're going to get these things. And guess what? Laura's still excited to go and she's still going to have a great time.
who cares? I'm gonna have the greatest time in the world. We'll go live for you.
Yeah. Oh, yes. So excited. Oh my gosh. Oh, I can't
I'm so
wait.
excited to see it. I really don't know what to expect. I just know they're talking about it's a whole thing with Bahamian culture, and there's gonna be dancing, and the characters are gonna be dancing, and there's
The
I'm so
food looks amazing.
I'm gonna eat everything. I've got 2 days to try it. I'm gonna try everything and take so many pictures. You need to be following my social media because it's gonna be
Yes.
exploding. I
I'm
have been
so
waiting. I This has been booked for over a year. Like
oh, I
32
know.
days away from it. I might no, I'm just excited for the Treasure Maiden, but this is 32 days away, so
That's so close. Oh my gosh. Okay.
focus,
Yeah.
focus.
Yes, it'll be here before you know it. If you guys are not already following Laura, I will get her handle shared up on all of the DCL community pages. Make sure you're following her. I know I already am because I literally will be stuck to my phone just waiting for her update because I'm so excited to see it. I'm so excited.
And we will go live.
Yes. Oh, I'm so excited. And then we really need teleportation because I'm going to need to transport myself through the phone to get to you. Yeah. Yeah. Well, again, we'll work on that. You have it written down. Yeah. Number
Yes,
one on the to-do list after everything else you have to do.
yes,
Great.
teleporting,
Oh,
teleporting.
I love it. Well, Laura, thank you so much for your time today and talking through everything to do with sailing, yes, to Lighthouse Point, but also sailing with those adult children. If you guys have any questions or are ready to book your cruise, and I see some thank yous coming in already, thank you guys for joining, and we will see all y'all on board real soon. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.